go. You had bravely pushed on in that weird, soggy, swollen, moldy house mansion. And you actually were pushing your luck a little bit, but successfully so. You've managed to um, clear out the entire basement, only to be called out by somebody from the second floor. And when you went to investigate, it turned out that it was the so far missing vizier, Albor Voltiari, or whatever was left of him, because during the battle, as you just thought that you had overcome him too, he transformed into a horrific, terrifying aberration, where in a gruesome metamorphosis of some kind, his head exploded to reveal these writhing tentacle-like things, that then in turn, once you managed to kill that monstrosity, once again exploded into several of those horrifying slug spawn that you
Sorry,
had already.
guys. Sorry. I need to bring a milk. I'll be in 5 minutes.
That's that you had already encountered last time, at the cathedral. No, I don't think they call it cathedral, but at the house of worship of the order, that the vizier was part of. And unfortunately, some of them also managed to slither away into the swamp and the wetlands.
Didn't we
outside.
get them?
I think we tried to get them all.
You tried to
I
get
thought
them
I thought
all?
we explicitly called out that we were going to go hunt them.
Oh
Hunt the
yeah,
rest
you
down.
did. You did.
Since we
Right.
were
I
still
remember.
missing.
Yeah, you were right. I didn't actually note that down, but you were right. And because of the superior speed, you were able to hunt them down and squish them.
Because fuck them.
Right. But the fact that you've encountered them now in two places, of course, makes you think if maybe the vizier was not the only one infested by these things. And of course, Emaírel's ongoing headache is another thing to worry about.
Yeah, well, I think surgery will fix that as well at some point. But we have a baby now.
Correct. And that's I was going to get to that, because as you catch your breath and the rushing in your ears from the blood pumping through your veins and the rush of battle and the horror you just witnessed, so you try to calm down from it all. You hear the giggly sound of the little baby that is playfully trying to catch a dangling tentacle of it that is just standing next to its crib.
I think actually I think Arronax grabbed the baby and tried to run with it. No?
You try to grab the baby?
I think so.
Yep.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
You lift up the baby. It's taken care of. It's not like it's filthy or in a bad shape or anything. It's clean. It's happy. And it's looking at you expectantly, drooling.
Yes. Well, I'm not ready for burden of parenthood, so Arronax takes a deep breath, looks at Geier, looks at Alhindri. Emaírel, maybe you should take it.
I think Emaírel's hands are full.
Well, they.
Sorry, Doctor. It looks like you're just gonna have to bring it back to town.
And you think we will be met there with? Never mind.
No, they won't be happy to see us, but maybe you just, I don't know, what is it that people do? Put it in a basket or something?
Well, fine. I guess we'll do that. But first, I think we still have things to do here. I get. Maybe we should put it in a bag or something. I don't know. What do you do with babies?
I don't think any of us do here.
Fine. Very well, baby. Just hold on, and it will be fine. Don't touch anything sharp on me, and don't drink anything. If you drink something, you will be violently ill and puke. You understand me?
It giggles and starts kicking the vials on your bandolier,
No,
and
that's
enjoys the ringing sound they make as they hit against each other.
fine. We'll have to live with this for a moment.
Is there anything of note in the room?
Right. Let's see. 34. Well, of course, there is plenty of equipment on the Vizier that I don't think we have talked about yet.
I don't think so.
I have
Yeah.
no memory of this.
So, not necessarily on him, but probably also spread out across the room are his belongings. And they are as follows. A wand of cure light wounds with 13 charges.
Okay.
This is nice.
Charges. Okay.
A masterwork chainmail that he's wearing.
Well, a good thing to wrap the baby in.
Mm-hmm.
And a trident that he was wielding as a weapon, which is clearly magic. I'm gonna have to look up if maybe... Oh, actually, you don't need to
Well, look at those.
roll, right? You just handle it for a little while. And then you realize that it is a trident that is not just a weapon, and a powerful one, a +2 trident, but it also enables the wielder to determine the location, depth, kind, and the number of aquatic predators within 680 feet. Don't ask me why it's 680, but that's what it is. So it's called a trident of warning. Must be grasped and pointed in order for the character using it to gain such information, and scanning a hemisphere with a radius of 680 feet takes 1 round.
Well,
And the weapon itself, as I said, is a +2.
that would have been useful if we examined the ruins of Atsland, but
Right, yeah. A little bit circumstantial. Okay, he's also wielding probably a ceremonial masterwork silver dagger. His remains are covered in a cloak of resistance +1. You can pull a ring of force shield from his fingers.
I think. No, Arronax didn't have that one. My other character had that one.
He's carrying a key that looks like it's the key to a chest or something like that. He's also wearing a gold-threaded chasuble. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's like
I
a
don't know what that means.
it's a priestly vestment, I guess. And he's wearing that over his chainmail, and that might be worth a little bit because it's made from fine materials and it's gold threaded. So you would think 75 gold pieces.
Can we remove blood from it?
Well, yeah, probably you need some prestidigitation for that. Yeah, and then he's wearing a really weird medallion. It's made of what's called fish gold, and it's resembling a cross between an eel, a fish, and an octopus.
Across from what? Sorry, it's a bad
A
joke.
cross between an eel.
It's
Oh, I see.
Sam got it.
Yeah. Also, he's wearing a fish gold ceremonial tiara. He's not actually wearing that.
Not
that's
anymore.
Yeah, it's lying around. So that tiara is probably worth 450 gold pieces.
Is the medallion like just the medallion, or does it ping as magic?
It does not ping as magic.
Okay.
Although I don't think it has to be magical itself to serve as a key for a portal.
True.
And so the tiara, you would think 450 gold pieces. And then he's also carrying an unholy symbol of Dagon, which is also made of fish gold, which should bring 50 gold pieces just because of the material. It's probably not a market for Dagon symbols. And 13 gold pieces in cash.
In our work for the Crown game, our investigator was very insistent that good aligned churches will totally buy these unholy symbols specifically to destroy them.
Okay, so that's the stuff of the vizier himself. But then there's also what's left of the room's interior. There's of course the large painting of the conqueror. If you remember what this room looked like, there was a big painting of a ship, and the ship's name is Conqueror. As you remembered, I think.
I actually don't remember.
You do not remember? Okay.
Yeah. No.
All right. So then I'll just give you the description of the room. So
I think we might not have gotten it because we were straight into combat and then combat ended.
no,
didn't
I'm,
really get
I'm
to-
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I told. Anyway, I'm just gonna give it to you now.
Okay.
This room has weathered the years better than the rest of the house. Wooden shutters remain closed over the windows. If there is not an otherworldly monstrosity ripping them open. A low hearth stands in one wall, over which hangs an elegantly rendered painting of a tall ship in the midst of a storm. Spaced about the room are 3 cushioned armchairs and a wooden pipe rack that hangs upon the south wall. And in this painting, you can see, you just barely make out the faded paint upon the ship's bow, and it's called the Conqueror. And so that painting would probably fetch some 500 gold pieces or something in an art shop if you were able to take it there. But as I said, it's pretty big, so nothing you can just put in your saddlebags. And the pipe rack on the wall holds 3 pipes. One of Meerschaum, actually a German word, and I guess it's also an English word.
Oh, is that seafoam?
Yeah, it's Ustalavian word.
Yeah, right. I guess it translates to sea foam.
Because it's a popular wood for pipes.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it's carved in the shape of a whaling vessel.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's one of scrimshaw that is carved into an unidentifiable mass of hair, seaweed, or tentacles or something. And one is carved from soapstone, and it's also a pretty bizarre fish frog woman. But even though those pipes are pretty an acquired taste, they are quite skillfully made, so they might be worth something like 60 gold pieces each.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't put my finger on it.
Well, but do we even have a bag of holding to put all these things in?
I do not know. I think Lady Evelyn had one. But she's not here anymore.
Oh well. Ah well, what the hell. Arronax will just probably come closer and look at the things, at the picture, and like he he will like not shake a baby, but like show it like hey little one, Sam, have you ever seen how people steal paintings? Well, allow some now watch closely, and he will just cut the painting from the frame with his claws.
Okay. So you
Yep.
cut it out, roll it up.
Yep. Yeah, and yeah.
And the baby just giggled. It's a very happy baby.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you say was the painting?
Well, before Karnas destroyed it, it would have been 500 gold pieces.
Yeah, well, now probably somewhat less, but
Yeah. But it should still be in the hundreds.
I mean, it's not like we were going to sell it to some legitimate collector at this point. Like, not in our situation, at least.
Yeah, but that sums it up. What the room
Mm-hmm.
provides.
So on the on the oh boy, what was it called? Why can't I think of the name? Not Vizier.
Yeah, the vizier.
Oh, Vizier. Okay. On the Vizier there was a ring of force shield. You said,
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to. Were there any other items? I know there were. You mentioned some non-magical stuff, vestments, and.
I've put it
then-
all into loot.
Oh, in loot. Okay, I'll take a look. Loot.
But it's kinda spread out over the different categories.
Oh, this is just all sitting in loot?
Yep.
We should really be using some of these. Or selling them.
Mm-hmm.
That's anathema to RPGs. We have to hoard them and never use them.
Uh-huh.
So I need 27 plain longswords and 44 leather armor.
Yeah. As I've been plumbing the depths of Forgotten Realms lore, recently it turns out that in Cormyr it's expressly forbidden to carry this much weaponry on one person. And you need to buy a license to sell arms, specific if you want to carry this many swords.
Also, it's okay to have a sword or two, but you're not allowed to have as much that you might be mistaken for a dealer.
Well, I don't think you are even allowed to have a big sword, because at least not if you're an adventurer.
So only like personal use
Yeah.
weaponry, but no commercial.
Absolutely not. And
Yeah.
if you're like just a
Is
band
there
of
is medicinal use of weaponry allowed, or
oh no, it's only absolutely forbidden.
Yeah.
If you're like a band of what, like 10 thugs that are loaded with weaponry and you don't have a license, you're like automatically considered like inciters of unrest for the crown and hunt them down. But if purple dragons hunt you down, they still give you a chance to pay for the license before they beat you into submission.
that's nice.
I know. I mean, Cormier is such a nice place to live.
Hmm.
I mean,
All right. So, do you want to split some of that loot, or does anybody want to grab something from it, or what's?
I mean, that Ring of Force shield seems pretty nifty. I don't know who it's most useful on, but it's, that's an automatic heavy shield with none of the drawbacks for anyone who's got an arm to spare.
well,
Yeah.
currently, probably Arronax would try to grab it if I have a place on my fingers, because right now I have to rely on my natural armors, and I'm out of bombs, so I will be probably frontlining with my face in foreseeable 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
While that is happening, EmaＲel is going to grab the trident and try to use it to
Okay.
detect if there's anything pinging off from the portal.
You just kind of go. Oh, you point it at the portal directly. And no, nothing. No aquatic predators in range.
Alhindri wanders off rather unwisely and opens this door.
Oh yeah, there's
Alright.
bits upstairs that we haven't checked out yet.
Okay. So you wanders off, probably humming to herself, I would imagine, and playfully opens one of the doors. Needs to pull a little hard, because, as usual, the wood is swollen and stuck in the frames a little bit. And in here is a nursery, but you can easily tell why the baby was not placed here, because it's only holding the rotting remains of a wooden cradle that stands before a stone fireplace. A mobile formed from tiny seashells dangles above the cradle, swaying slowly in the breeze that enters through the open window.
Hmm.
What are the odds like this kid was supposed to be like some sort of chosen one, and we are in no end of trouble?
I'll bet someone was trying to summon a demon into the baby or something.
Is that a common occurrence? Can people not
More
just
common than you'd think.
can you not just summon demons without having them take over some baby?
No, they have to be born into babies. Very basic, fundamental part of the process.
Yeah, basic. Mm-hmm.
Well, if we're clearing out this, I guess we try this door too.
Um,
Oh yeah, that's the part that was rotten away.
Exactly. That's the part where portions of the ceiling and floor have collapsed, and a large chunk of the eastern wall as well. The remnants of the wooden floor sag alarmingly, and bookshelves that still hold the moldering remains of their paper and parchment contents stand drunkenly along the walls.
Hmm. I think that leaves us with one room we haven't checked out.
Oh, shit, I got stuck. Yeah.
Right.
Well, two.
So
This one too, yeah.
yeah, this one. Yeah, as you enter, you see wide windows that provide a panoramic view over the grounds of the estate. There's a grand desk of finely carved hickory that sits before these windows, along with a large chair of rotted leather.
Give the place a quick look. While not touching any chairs.
You're not touching any chairs. Do you want to look through the desk too?
Yeah.
Okay. So the desk itself is actually in surprisingly good condition, given the exposure it suffered. So you decide to go through the drawers, and as you open one of them, a puff of some yellow mold explodes in your face. And, well, within 10 feet, so whoever is in that room at this point is also going to be caught in that burst and needs to make a fortitude save.
There you go.
He made it. Made it too. Okay, and I'll take it that Doctor and Geier were bringing up the rear.
Yeah, not there yet.
Okay. So you both make your saves. So you cough a little bit, and it's really burning in the back of your throat, but you don't take any damage from it. But yeah, the cloud sort of lingers in the air. So, and you've definitely inhaled some of that stuff. So we're gonna have to keep doing this for a little bit. I need another fortitude save from each of you. Any surges you guys want to use? If you have any left.
Do we have any left?
That is an excellent question. Do I
Yes.
I am all out of mythic power, so nope.
Okay, so Emaṛel, you take 2 points of constitution damage as you suffer a coughing fit. Okay, another fortitude save, please.
Can we leave the room?
And
Yeah,
we
but
leave the town.
you've already inhaled enough of it so that even if
Yes.
I mean, you're not standing in the cloud, of course, but, and you're free to leave the room for sure.
Doctor!
Ah, you vanished, I can see you. So you coughed yourself out of existence. So what do you want of me? I can't bring a baby in there. Just come here. And don't cough on the baby, you're infected.
Okay, so I will need a save from Alhindri.
So what was the result of the 15?
That was okay. No damage.
Okay. Let's see here. She pulls through on this. I will be amazed.
That is not enough, of course. So that is 1 point of Constitution damage. And another Fortitude save from both of you.
Hang on, let me apply the
can
damage.
we do something to help them with this?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Oh,
You're gonna
sure.
do something to help me before my next save,
Yeah,
or not?
what do you want to do, Carnus?
Well, I guess I will try to treat poison on them.
Okay, yeah. Well, on her. It's
Yeah.
only one person at a time.
That's
15 is enough to beat the DC, so you get a +4 on your check as he kind of probably like bends you over and slaps your back and you
22.
yes, and you cough out more yellow chunks, bright yellow,
Yes.
and don't take any damage this round. Another 40 round of Fortitude saves.
See, this could have been your lung.
It's really off to a good,
Yeah.
off to a good start.
Oh no, Emaírel! Emaírel! You're supposed to be the more fortitudinous.
Fortitude is
Okay, is that 2 passes for me? Am I done?
no. First, it's 2 points of damage for Emaírel, Constitution damage, and then one more round.
That's really bad. There's another round?
As another round.
Is the doctor still helping me, or is that like a thing he has to do it
I hope.
to
He would
Or is
have
that
to
like-
do it every time.
Okay. Let's do this every time. Ah, never mind.
Hey, Emaírel made his save. Doctor is not helping.
Okay. Okay. 16?
Alhindri makes it. And you both
Ooh.
kind of at the same time, you both just go like and you both spit up this large coagulated chunk of yellow mold mixed with like phlegm and just spit it onto the floor. And for a brief moment you almost feel like you watched crawl away. But it just starts to seep into the floorboards. But the terrible, wretched feeling stops.
Yes. Well,
All right.
Wow.
Want to try the next drawer?
No.
Alhindri looks at Emaírel and says, "Don't open things."
Yes, don't open things, don't poke things.
well, I guess now both of you have learned a valuable lesson.
Yeah, let's get this shit out of here.
Should have known Emaírel when he asked for, "Oh, do you want to check the drawers too? You want to check out that desk?"
I tried to ask as nonchalantly as I possibly could.
By the way, actually, we do have bag of holding, and Arronax has it.
Oh, okay.
So
I
yeah,
forgot that was-
I stuffed the painting in there.
That was a true miracle.
Uh-huh.
I'm just Alhindri just kind of casually leans up against a wall, but she
And
has
slides
7
down.
points of she has 7 points of con damage,
Yeah.
Whoa.
and she had 6. She had 6 points walking into that room, and somehow I passed. How many saves was that? 5.
Yeah.
She passed 4 saves out of 5 to avoid dying on the spot.
From yellow mold.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are pushing it. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think I have to tell you that.
Yeah, I think we should leave now.
Okay.
The question is, where are you going?
Well, we can I guess break camp and decide how to return the baby, and
To where?
I don't know. I mean, it's somewhere it belongs to the fish cult or something.
Well,
Whose
I
baby
guess
is that?
it's probably from the couple from Emaírel. Is it a baby girl?
Yes, it is.
Did we hear about a missing baby girl?
Well,
I might not have
we
been there for that.
we've been
Oh, yeah,
told that they have given up their child or something like this from the offended worshippers in the chapel or temple cathedral.
Offered it to them?
we don't know. We just know that it's missing. They don't know where it is.
Yeah.
They really weren't forthcoming with details.
In hindsight, maybe it will be better to just take it with take the baby with us, let it grow in the city, and then maybe it will be able to reconnect with her origins and visit this quaint little town of Ilmarsh before realizing that it might be a hybrid of deep ones and return to the sea.
That'll be a good fate.
Yeah. It's complicated. Arronax looked at the baby. Why you babies are so complicated? Every time you appear, some life gets complicated.
So should we try to go back and maybe camp out in the woods on the way like we did coming here?
I suppose so. I mean, that's what Arronax would suggest as best, at least temporary way of resolving our dilemma, because we really need some rest regardless. we need to find
It's safer than sleeping in town, that's for sure.
Yeah, need to find a place fortified. Well, I guess we can't just sit in the rope trick space all the time. I mean,
We could. I mean,
can you cast it extended?
well, no, but a normal cast would last 9 hours. That's enough for a good night's sleep.
Well, I mean, right. At the moment we'll have to camp for longer, I guess.
I can always just recast it.
So in either way, I suppose we go down first and get out of this house.
Okay. So you descend the stairs, leave through the front door, and immediately it's like you've shaken off the weight of this house, but at the same time you know that there are still mysteries left in there. And Karnas, the little warm bundle that you're holding on to, is starting to smell a little bit. And
And you need to make a con save.
Does it smell like smell that normal babies make, or some ungodly horror smell that will make me lose sanity?
there is very little difference, just so you know.
Okay.
But no, it's just, it seems like it's what probably would be normal. I mean, you don't know. It looks like it's doing the exorcist thing, but through its butt.
I see.
Oh god.
Oh well.
Do you need me to change the baby? I can change the baby.
Change it for what?
Into what? You know, You know, my dear, I think
I can give it long arms.
like, well,
I don't think reach is an issue with that baby.
I mean, I also can give it long arms, so you're not helping. I mean, I didn't study 10 years to become a doctor, so I wouldn't be able to change the baby's diaper. So I'll improvise. It can be more hard than some practical biology. And I guess we go camping.
All right. So you move away from the building,
Yes.
just to have it out of sight, just far enough to not have to look at it, have it like drone over you or tower over you as a shadow. And you break camp and try to rest. The baby is, at first it's enjoying itself. Plenty of stuff to discover. All of this interesting equipment that you have. But at some point it's gonna get cranky and cry, and you're having a bit of a hard time calming it down. But eventually,
I will use soap on it.
you use soap on it
Yes.
to clean it. You mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like one of those. It's one of those point and click adventure games. Pick up soap,
Yeah.
use soap on baby.
Yeah, and this party's probably just gonna do the point and click thing where you just combine everything with the baby, hoping that
Until it works.
one of it will stick.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but eventually, out of exhaustion, the baby falls asleep. And all of a sudden, it's just the cutest thing in the world.
I know that very well.
Couldn't be cuter than my dancing partner.
Barely cuter.
So are we taking the full 24 hours?
Well, I suppose so. It was basically like start of the day or the middle of the day when we went into the house. So
Yeah, it is early afternoon now. So, what you gotta tell me how long you want to rest?
Yeah, with all the con damage that we've had, I guess a full day wouldn't hurt.
yeah.
Full day. I don't even feel like dancing. Why don't you go home? She'll say to it, which will promptly leap and throw itself at her and disappear into the arcane mark on her forehead.
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I will just drink some of my extracts to recover my hit points. By the way, does actually the tentacle monster need any healing?
It needs, actually it does need to recover ability damage.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that will have to wait.
I mean,
But,
it's resting too, technically, right? Even if it's in its, if it's all in Alhindri's head.
I mean, she probably imagines that it gets rest, so it gets rest.
You're
Sure.
asking complicated questions.
Okay, so you want to rest for 24 hours?
I suppose so.
That's enough to get back.
Yes. Some.
Just, what is it, just one ability
Yeah.
score?
No, 24 hours should give you more. I mean,
It's 2 points per every ability score, I think.
2?
Yeah. 8
yeah, I
hours
think
is
it
1 point.
doubles.
8 hours is 1 point. 24 hours is 2 points.
Okay, well, that will almost restore it to its normal charming self.
Okay.
That won't help Alhindri that much, though.
Okay. In that case, Arronax, he will wake up strangely unmutated and with a new baby by his side, which he will find very, very strange.
Yeah, I mean, just so to make that clear, you're getting 24 hours of rest, but that doesn't mean that it's
Yeah.
quiet or something. You definitely have to take
Yes.
turns that somebody's looking after the baby because it constantly needs something, food, comfort,
Mm.
fresh rag,
Uh-huh.
and
Like,
yeah.
well,
So
what?
one's bringing too much personal experience into
Yeah,
this
you
game.
know, once in a while you could make it like an escapism where taking care of a baby is easy.
Yeah.
But no. 57.
Oh, actually, I can. You know what? I just realized I can heal my Eidolon. That's not an issue.
All right. So, gentlemen, uh, do we have anything to feed the baby? Oh, great. I have some holy water. Do you think
There were some provisions in the room. Like there was some goat milk and a clean rag that he probably used to soak with the milk and then have the baby suck the milk out of it. So that's probably how he took care of the baby.
probably? Well, all right, gentlemen. Then, who's ready to chug some restoration extracts?
I like the sound of that.
What have you got, Carnus?
Well, I have 5 slots for my second second level, so if I just ditch Barkskin again, and I have only one cure moderate wounds for, I will get us 4 lesser restoration extracts.
Okay. So what do people want to use those for? So I guess everyone gets one.
Yeah. Or I can just make 5 and give Geier 2 if so he could recover sanity and damage if they are work separately, because I'm not sure how they work.
Can
Yeah,
I
you have-
recover sanity with those?
Yes, 1d2, but only once per day. And I would say that it works as if it was another ability score, and with lesser restoration you also have to pick which ability score to heal. So you can either do sanity or ability score.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, well, I didn't write in the sanity, of course, into the lesser restoration, so let's just roll like this.
So yeah.
It didn't write anything at all.
Right, so we start with 1d2 for Gaia's sanity.
Yes.
Okay, Gaia, you can roll that, or Alejandro, you can roll that yourself.
1d2, right?
Yep. Nice. You get a whole 2 points of sanity back. That puts you at 3, I think.
It says on my sheet I had 1 point of sanity.
Yeah, so now it puts you at 3.
Yep.
Okay. And that now if I understood that correctly, you got a second lesser restoration that you can now use if you have any ability score damage. Or if you want to, you can. Oh no, you cannot use it again on sanity because only once per day.
One per day. So what you restore next?
Alejandro.
I'm looking. Because what can I restore? I had some damage.
I think we all only got
Because I had
damage.
but I have constitution damage. I have
Yeah,
4 points. So can I restore those?
Yeah.
it's a D4,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see how much you recover.
Поехали.
But did you already subtract the 2 points that you get from natural healing?
No.
Okay, so first of all, you should apply those.
And-
Two of those,
Okay.
two of that damage go
So
away.
it's down to 2.
with
And now
that
you roll a
heal.
D4.
Well, I have added the roll into the.
Oh, but it's more fun if they get to roll it themselves.
Okay.
Exactly. So, no more con damage?
No more con damage for you.
Okay. I will remove
And
it
now
from
Geier
this
looks like the most hale and hearty of the group.
Yeah, except that
Back
funny
to
it is,
dudes.
like, he's still like the old decrepit Geier you always knew.
probably muttering to himself about things from the dark corners of the universe.
Okay. So next I guess Alhindri.
Yeah, I got 5 points of con damage right now. So
Well, now you
Let's see
can
that
roll.
D4. All right.
Emaṛel.
Yes, please. Ooh,
Nice.
There
almost back
we go. Yeah.
to full.
And well, for the last I will take myself because I also have at least 2 points left to heal. And
Nice.
I'm fully cured now as well. Whew. Well, that takes an edge off a little bit.
Very nice.
Yeah. Then we will restock my bombs, which makes me very happy. And our mythic power, which also makes us happy. Spells.
Wait a second. I just remember that Alejandro, last time we had house ruled that when you overcome something that caused sanity loss, you get to roll the next smaller die.
Yeah, I think you did do that. You did roll.
So you shouldn't have been
Yeah.
at 1. I think you didn't record that correctly.
yeah, if I remember correctly, I thought he went all the way back up to he only had 1 point of sanity loss, not like 1 point total.
Yeah, right? So that's what I had written down. That's why I was a bit confused right now.
No, it
I
says,
had,
one,
like,
it says
1
1
point
point
of
of sanity. Yeah, 1
Yeah,
point of sanity.
I wrote incorrectly, I believe. Like, I just put it like, I lost 1 point of sanity.
Yeah, because he recovered almost all of it on that roll.
Okay, well, in that case, you're back to your normal sanity, whatever that means.
Back to normal then.
Yeah, but
Whatever that is.
you wanna keep that information somewhere else because if you change the name of your character, it also changes it in the chat, so you can't go back and see how your
Okay, I'm gonna put
your
it in
score
the
changed.
notes section.
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out how your sanity changed, and it just always says 1 point of sanity because that's the name of your character.
Sorry about that. Here I thought I was being clever by putting it somewhere where I wouldn't forget.
Yeah. Well, you were cleverer than Foundry, so. Okay. Yeah, it's the next day. It's Moon Day. It's again after lunch time. The baby is napping, and what are you gonna do?
Alhindri would probably talk to the others before going anywhere near that house again and say, those things, those crawling things, they're notes in a foul melody, one which travels throughout existence and seeks to rewrite all of the songs so that they are all one. Its song. The song is called Shub Nigarath.
You know about these things?
I go places sometimes when I sleep. I hear songs, I see patterns, and they take me. And I go where they follow. I see much. I have danced in strange realms. It's a sort of hole that I fall into ever since the Black One came to me. And left.
Who's this Black One?
You know him, in a sense. He comes to me. Well, he used to. He used to dance with me too, on cloven hooves. He gave me his fiddle, told me to play, and I did. And she kind of looks at Emaírel and the doctor and Geier strangely. Then you took it from me.
What did we take? The music? Dancing?
Well, I suppose the fiddle
The
when
fiddle.
we blasted her back in Ravengro.
Well, we can get you a different fiddle, or is that
She-
one special?
She shakes her head. No, I did not like the sound that one made. And it was never my instrument anyway. I always liked flutes and drums more. I liked dancing and I liked singing the best, but he wanted me to play his fiddle, and I did. And once it was gone, I thought I was gone too. It took a long time to start coming back. But there's still this hole in me. And sometimes I fall into it. And sometimes other things fall out.
Yeah, like that pet of yours, right?
It is
Sorry,
my
I
pet.
didn't mean to sound crass or anything, but as you can see, we're all damaged here. And I appreciate that you have a lead on what's happening, but it's very hard to interpret it as it is. If you can tell us how to help you, that might help us help ourselves. Does that make any sense?
It is my partner now. It's filled the hole left by the Black One. It keeps other things from coming through. But it cannot stop Shub-Niggurath. Not
Naėllaŕian.
if she is already here. Not if her spawn are already here.
Speaking of the spawn, do
Oh,
you have any idea of how to convince one to come out?
Is that something I could make a check on, Simon?
Yeah, do your lore.
I think I did roll a high lore when we first saw the things. I don't know if I need to. I can give it another go.
That's a very specific question, so I would
Yeah, sure,
roll
sure.
another one.
Oh, by the way, this did we study the spell books that we?
No, let me just answer the
Yeah.
question first. So these things, like, yeah. So as I already told you last time, these things are more of a disease than a creature. Once they took hold, they're kind of like a parasite, and they mature inside their host, and you feel like, since they're also bound to and drawn to their ungodly mother, that anything that resonates with her presence might accelerate their maturing.
Ooh.
And maybe that is also the reason why the vizier popped like that. Maybe there's something in that house.
Mm,
Maybe it was very good not to camp in there.
yeah.
Yeah, Alhindri would basically kind of in her own way explain that to Emaírel, that it's more of a sickness and more of a souring of his song than it is its own. And it will change his song to be its own, and that the more time you spend near others, it kind of learns the chorus faster, joins the chorus.
Oh, look at what we have. How convenient.
Yeah, actually, Emaírel even has a potion of remove disease. 2 potions of remove disease.
Well, gentlemen, let's check some more chemicals into our bodies.
Yeah, that's gonna work out well.
I mean, just look at me. I'm a picture of mental health and physical health too.
Do you think adventurers develop like bladder issues?
Well,
They have livers that are like rocks.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, by rules, the potions are supposed to be like just a couple of ounces. So it is like a vial, like a small. I don't know.
Shot.
Yeah, basically.
It's like a shot.
Well, if we think this might be a disease, then Emaírel is happily going to gulp down on one of his potions.
Mm-hmm.
And does he feel anything particular?
Well, give me a caster level check, plus the caster level of the potion, which would be 5.
Arronax, meanwhile, will just stand over him with his silver war razor in hand.
Is this a role that he can add stuff to?
Um,
I mean, it's from the
yeah,
item,
yeah,
so
you infuse it with some of your own mythic power, I guess. Yeah, why not?
Well, I mean, it is mythic power, so I guess it just can go
Yeah,
fuck it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually, I was thinking of a class ability, but if you say that class ability wouldn't
Nah,
work, and
if it, the mythic thing, yes, but
okay,
class ability, no.
okay, then well, let's roll that and let's add this.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So 27 in total. Okay. So you knock it back, and you swallow it. Nothing happens for a few moments, and everybody else looks at you like waiting. Is Emaṛel gonna burst? Is something gonna happen? And you just look back and you shrug, and you toss the vial away. And at that moment, there's a blinding, a splitting headache that
Ooh.
just erupts in. It's like inside your brain is where the hurt is, and you can't keep your eyes open. You start screaming. You start banging against your head because it's so painful, and you scream, scream, scream. You scream so much that your jaw hurts, and then you get this retching, this uh, cramping feeling as you start gagging, and you basically go through this whole process again, just in reverse.
Ew.
This time, vomiting out the dead body of the slug spawn that is already showing quite some advanced signs of having matured to some other stage.
Yeah.
So you see like various little tentacle outgrowths that weren't there before, and like little hooks and stuff. And this whole process takes like, you go through this for like a half hour of pain and just screams, and yeah, it's a horrible sight for the others too, but of course much more horrible for you to experience.
Ugh.
But then it's out,
Well.
and it slithers away. No.
Stomp on it! Stomp on it!
Yes.
Kill it with fire!
I mean, even if it's dead, I will just try to slice it, just to be sure.
Yeah, and of course it reeks. It like reeks of acid, of very bad things.
Yeah.
How was that thing inside of me, and it didn't show like a bump or anything?
Because it's a supernatural creature,
Yes, and it fits into your skull.
and
so
it probably did show some way. I mean, like I said, the second illustration I sent you was more accurate, so I think you definitely would have been able to see something.
Alhindri would probably sit with Emaṛel through that entire process, like as
Holding his hair back.
revolting. Yeah, basically, as revolting as it is, she's like not really cowed by it at all. She's just kind of observing him screaming, and sometimes she's maybe even like humming along as this is happening. Almost
Singing in
like
harmony with his
It's almost like
screams.
she's harmonizing with his screams, and just watching as the thing comes out. And when it's all done, she's like, "That's good."
Well, better outside than inside.
okay. Well, that's a not well. So how do you feel, Emaṛel? Do you need some more shots?
I'm actually pretty good right now, apart from being absolutely revulsed.
I see.
Yeah, although there's an interesting side effect, Emaṛel, because you remember that there was this sort of elated feeling once it had taken hold, and
Oh,
now that it's gone, there's a little bit of sadness almost, as if you like missed out on, like as if you had had an opportunity to become something beautiful, and now that opportunity is shattered, and it leaves you with this strange sense of sadness.
Well,
mm.
yeah, Arronax will just then give him another vial. Like, well, here, take this. It will do something. I suppose it helps with hangovers. Maybe it will soothe your throat, I guess, and your brain.
The hair of the dog that bit you, a little bit of slug slime.
Yeah. And wash it down a little bit.
All right. Yeah, so Emaṛel, besides that little bit of strange sadness and the fact that your knees are still a bit shaky from the exertion, you definitely feel relieved. So, what's next?
That is a good question. Do we go back to town as planned, or do we try?
I mean, what are we gonna do about the baby?
Well, going back to town is to hand back the baby.
Right, but I mean, just pointing that out to you, how you left the town,
Yeah.
and
Yes, we remember.
Get in a note.
and also I mean, you were already thinking about why the baby got here, and whose baby that is,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Whose baby is it? I still don't know. Just some people?
It's when we went into the recondite order of the whatever sea, and we killed all the cultists. You remember that?
Yeah, I know it's gonna be a shit life for that baby in this town, but will it be any worse than life with us? I mean,
No, that's
might
not what
not even-
that's not what
Oh.
I'm getting at. But if you remember how that conversation with those people went,
Well, they will put us on pitchforks. Yes.
and they might sacrifice the baby.
Well, that's not what I got from it. Like, they knew their baby was gone, but they didn't know where, right? It didn't feel like they really gave her up very willingly.
no, they definitely did.
Ah,
Yeah. Then I may have portrayed that in a wrong way, but they definitely they were anxious about not knowing. They said something about not knowing.
if
Yeah.
it worked or something like
If it worked or if it like got to where it needed to go or whatever, but they were not worried about what would happen to the baby. They did not expect to see it back.
But just for Anthony, because I think
Yeah,
he missed the part. Basically, when we went into the church or whatever, after the fight, we went inside, found some decapitated bodies, and we found a couple, a
Can
man
I
and
just-
woman.
can
Yeah.
can we just also reiterate they were they're not as decapitated sounds like somebody cut off their heads.
Yeah.
But
more
do you
like-
remember what they looked like?
I believe that's the definition.
Yes, but do you remember what they looked like?
Well, they. So-
Mm,
I think we, at the moment we thought that what's the word, the giant crab thing, mutated chul or like it tore their heads off with the claws.
Right, because what you had learned from checking out the body was that it looked like their heads had been ripped off or blown off somehow.
Or maybe they were exploded from within with those tentacle things. Yeah.
Hmm.
In hindsight.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Oh, well, that does sound very bad. Let's leave the baby here at camp and go finish in the Inside the mansion. We'll keep it by the fire so we'll stay warm.
No,
And
that's horrible
the
idea.
deals.
Let's just put it in a bag of holding.
I'll give it long arms so it can reach anything it needs to.
No, let's put it in a bag of holding, and I will give it long arms so it will hold on the edges of the bag. Okay? And
How is it going to breathe in that bag of holding?
I'll keep it open.
Keep it ventilated.
I believe it actually says how much air is contained in a bag of holding.
Babies are small. They don't need to breathe much. It's a good idea.
What do babies eat?
Yeah, living creatures are placed. They can survive for up to 10 minutes, after which they suffocate.
Okay, so we won't like keep it all the time in there. I guess.
Just put it in there during combat. All right, baby in the bag. Hang on.
Yep.
What we can do is like put
Like
it
one of
in
those
a-
baby Bjorns with a bag of holding.
That'd be amazing. Oh, I wish someone could illustrate that.
We could like once we're back in the mansion, I could produce another rope trick and we can leave her there safe.
As safe as a baby is, left to its own devices.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's in a literal void. Well, sort of a
Well,
void. There's like
it-
nothing
it's-
there, right?
You'd be surprised how like babies can find dangerous things.
Yeah, it is a
Well-
literal void with a
Where did
hole
you
in
get
the
those
ground.
scissors from?
Yeah.
We don't even have scissors.
Hey, not to break the character here, but there once was a time when I was at the in-laws. I was sitting next to Frida. She was not even a year old. I was sitting next to her. We were having breakfast. I looked at my phone. I looked up and she was licking a battery. I have no idea how all of a sudden she got a battery and how her it's just they have a superpower like that. Yeah. So it definitely would survive, I'm sure, inside that rope trick void.
Okay, fine. I'll carry the baby around. You can leave the baby in my care.
Can we though?
You can.
You know, I have a doctorate. I'll manage.
Alhindri kind of stands there looking at him, taps her foot a little bit. She's like, you know, no, I won't even say it. She can't say, I'm good with children with a straight face.
Sense motive.
Yeah.
Inside check.
Give me the child. I will take it.
Feed me a baby. I thought you were supposed to feed the baby. No, feed me the baby.
Okay, so what is the approach going to look like here?
So well, I guess.
Oh, wait. Like, what is the closest? I mean, how far is Alhindri's mental asylum from here?
Days.
What is
I
the
mean,
closest? What is the closest thing?
You're here.
I mean, Ilmarsh is the closest thing, but it's
It's all March.
You're in the middle of nowhere, essentially.
So this is Ilmarsh, and well, this is Rushmore,
You're somewhere here.
Asylum, yeah, somewhere.
yeah. We'd have to backtrack for days if we wanted to go to Thrushmore. I think we're stuck with this kid.
Yeah. So I guess the plan is that I have the Ring of Force Shield. By the way, maybe Emaírel, maybe you want it.
No, I'm fine with my own shield.
Okay. Well, in that case, I have an invisible force shield on one of my arm, and I will take a baby in that arm, and it will be protected by invisible force shield all the time. It's perfectly safe.
Mm-hmm. Mary Poppins. Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, Mary Poppins had a bag of holding.
yeah, she
That's
totally
true.
did. I mean, well,
I'm sure she had a force shield too.
Yeah, and I can fly too.
Yeah.
I'm Mary Poppins, everyone.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
All right. Don't do the terrible Dick Van Dyke accent, please.
Okay.
Okay. So the doctor grabs the baby,
I guess yes.
holds it in his arm, and yeah. So, but of course, that means stealth is out of the question. I'm just
Yeah.
stating the obvious here, but
Well, I mean,
just saying
we
that.
We were
Babies
never
are
a stealthy
anti-stealth.
party.
yeah, I think we took care of everyone who might detect us.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying. So as you move through the mansion, your movements will be accompanied by giggling sounds, an occasional little cry, a cough, farts, and everything in between.
Mm.
And yeah, so where do you go next?
Well, I guess our objective is the. Well,
Get
maybe
the kid
before.
vaccinated.
There's
Yeah, maybe before the portal we can finish off
yeah,
that
there's still a
last
room.
Well, at first, I guess we'll make a cursory check in case if more cultists just sort of moved back in to check up on their dead comrades.
Sorry, what was that?
Well, at first, I guess we will make a check of the house to see if there are any more cultists show up.
Yeah, so where are you going?
Well,
Which room?
at first we probably go to the main.
Yeah, it seems like the rooms that you had already explored were untouched after you left. The body of the vizier is still lying around.
Fuck him.
Doors are open. The way the ones you left open are open.
Okay, well, I guess that means that we come through the same way.
No, we go through the main door and we don't touch that couch.
Force our
Or
way
set
in
on
through a
fire.
window.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go hit that spot?
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
And please, everyone, move into position.
Oh, great. Alhindri would probably summon it into being once again, telling it to get ready to dance. And let's see, I had to give it the climb speed before with the lesser thing. Is it possible for it to just climb up onto the roof here, just under its own power by normal means? If there's
What-
like no rush.
What's its climb skill?
I imagine it has good strength scores.
Yeah.
It does have it has pretty good strength. Let me see. Climb. Yeah, it's just a +5 to climb.
So it's a 15 if it takes 10. It's not in a rush. No, I think it's not that easy to climb a house.
Even if it's already a large creature. I don't know what. How high is
No,
the
actually,
roof?
15 sounds about right. I think
Okay.
25 is a typical building's lower wall.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, so like, well, I guess that makes sense. No matter how hard a commoner tries, they will never be able to climb up a
No,
building's wall.
Well,
they have to train. They
Yeah.
have to train.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but it is large.
I can just throw out some rolls and see if one of them sticks.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's even if it falls, it probably won't hurt itself so much. So it can essentially take 20. Yeah.
How about 217s?
Can't you just summon it on the roof?
Actually, can I? Well, I mean, there's a. Oh, I
you
have to
see it
roll
through the
literally a
win-
natural 20 to get up there, don't I? I just realized that.
Yeah,
to take
but
20.
if you see it through the window, you should be able to.
Let me look up my own abilities again, damn it.
Okay, yeah.
A ritual, of course it doesn't say. Doesn't say how far away it is. It just says it takes 1 minute to perform, which is irrelevant because it only takes me a full round. But
No, but it says you can cast Summon Monster 1 as a... Oh no, that is Summon Monster. That is not the Summon your Eidolon.
I mean, I can.
1 second, sorry.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. There's all sorts of stuff about how far away my summoner can be, my summon can be, but
I would treat it like a summon spell. So I would treat it with the reach of a Summon Monster spell, which is 25 plus 5 per 2 caster levels.
okay. In that case, it could probably easily be up on the roof.
Yeah.
All right. Could you move it there, Simon? Because I can't drag it through the walls.
Yes. There we go.
Alrighty.
Okay. So Emaírel opens the door, finds a master bedroom beyond, where a large 4-poster bed sits next to a wide fireplace. The bed has been stripped of covers, but its rotten feather mattress still remains, and bears a large dark stain in the center. The wooden headboard once depicted a scene of ships battling upon the waves, but is now cracked with age and the elements, and large gashes further mar its surface. A wheeled chair with a moldy seat and warped wheels stands at the foot of the bed. A stairway winds up to the east into the dome above the manor house.
Emaírel is going to take a look around with his eyes only.
Mm-hmm. 27. Okay. You... Let me check. I don't think you find anything particularly valuable or anything like that, but you do notice, well, first of all, like I said, the dark stain in the center of the mattress is definitely noticeable, but also those gashes in the headboard, they aren't, you realize that they're not just random, they seem to be forming letters of some sort. And as you move closer to like fully fully be able to read it, you move your lips along what you read, and you read out, "The pact ends here, Father." And now I would like to know where everyone is as that happens.
Well, I guess Arronax stands where he stands.
Okay.
Yeah. Alhindri's probably lingering behind.
Okay.
I guess we were just like making a line out towards the outside, right?
Okay, and well, letting Emaṛel be the cannery. So, let me first get this encounter ready here.
Aye, aye.
That's a lot of dice.
That
Oh,
is
it's
a
the
lot of
initiative.
dice.
Okay.
It's for all of the tick swarms that are coming out.
All of the wonderful things that are going to kill you. Wait a second. What's going on here?
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Just looking at the initiatives. The tag team from another dimension is killing it.
So you can see my rolls, is that right?
I can see the rolls, the initiative rolls
No.
he made for us. That's all.
Oh, for
Yeah,
you.
just
Okay.
ours, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But it does show that Simon privately rolled some dice, but not the result.
Okay, that's good.
And there's some more.
Yep. Okay, so here's what happens. Emaṛel, you read out those words, and as you read them, you don't necessarily think that it's because you read them, because they're pretty harmless. It's not like any incantation or something like that, but still, something subtly changes in the in the aura of this room. It's almost as if there is reality kind of warping itself, breaking in some part, like a prismatic shift, and you watch in horror as in the corners of the room shapes start to emerge from what looks like a rift, a very jagged, angular rift in the fabric of reality itself. And as those creatures emerge, you see them in all of their horrific glory. These almost hound-like in their appearance, vaguely canine, but no fur, no hair, nothing like that. Just long limbs, gaunt, soulless eyes, and a toothy maw. And here we go. At least two of them peel themselves out of the corners. And
Those guys again. Oh no, we haven't met them.
Again, you dealt with these before?
No.
No,
But they look fishy, so we're kinda.
I thought it was gonna
I
be
know.
like I thought it was gonna be like a Mexican hairless dog.
I know.
yeah, it's kind of accurate.
Anthony knows exactly what these are.
I mean, yeah, I forgot.
Alhindri probably knows what they are too.
Yeah, I actually fought them in Return of the Rune Lords.
I
I don't know.
I don't think you fought these,
Yeah.
Karnas. I'm pretty sure you didn't. All right, so let me figure this out. So they appear from the corners of the room, and the very first thing they do, Emaṛel, or one of them does, at least, is that it fixes its gaze on you, and its soulless eyes stare straight at you, and it's just it hurts to meet that gaze. it's like it's ripping right through your sanity and your mind. First of all, I will need a will save from you, please. Emaírel.
Okay. Emaírel is going to spend an immediate action to get a bonus on this.
Okay.
It's the features. He is going to spend one of these so that he gets a +4 here. You need the +4. That was a 3.
Okay. So you do not take sanity damage. And now I will need a fortitude save.
Fortitude.
So, like I said, the gaze is painful, and it causes 24 points of actual slashing damage.
Whoa!
Wow.
Bypasses all damage reduction except the DR Epic, as it
God,
rips right through you.
They're mythic. Mythic.
Uh-huh. Alhindri. You hear Emaírel probably yell out, and you definitely sensed some shift in the air. Something has arrived.
Alhindri will step forward, and she'll get into the room here and take a look.
And at that point, you'll need to do a will save too, as you behold these hounds.
A will save. I'm gonna bump a mythic power on that.
Okay.
Wait, can you wait until after you know the result on mythic power? I forget.
Even after I reveal, I think.
Okay, go ahead and reveal if that's a success or failure first. Then I'll decide.
It is a success.
It is a success. Okay. All right. She looks at these things and she's like, "Oh, it's Doggy." Because that is exactly what Doggy is based on as well, just with different art.
Mhm.
And so is there anything else once she sees them, or
Not yet, no.
okay? I should have her. I'll have her make a lore roll though about them.
Mm-hmm. Hey, yeah, you recognize them? You probably have your own name for them, but conventionally they are known as Hounds of Tindalos.
Mm-hmm.
They are otherworldly predators from beyond the bounds of known reality. And they usually appear only when summoned by reckless spellcasters. Little is known about their nature. They are, however, said to possess great cunning and cruel intellect, but they show no evidence of understanding or communicating with mortals. They enter the physical world, they destroy and kill, and they disappear back to wherever they came from, just as quickly. And
So-
these in particular strike you as odd, or as curious. Like their mythicness is palpable for you. So they have
It's
a
just-
particular quality to them.
These are like Doggy, but not as nice as Doggy. They live on the edges of time instead of the curves like the rest of us. They come out of the corners. And she is going to go ahead and do. Actually, well, Oh, she's staggered the first round of combat, so that's all she's got. She just walks into the room and says
right.
this.
Right, and is
Does,
so fascinated by what she sees.
does
She's
she does she
Yep.
say what type they are or subtype?
Aberrations.
Okay.
I'm pretty damn
No.
sure they're not.
What
They're
more do you need to know?
outsiders.
It's bad.
They're
It's ugly.
outsiders. They're outsiders.
Outsiders.
Outsiders. Take it back. Outsiders.
Evil extraplanar outsiders.
Should have been they clear when I said they come from the angles of time, not the curves. Different place. Okay. She'll say that as she's like, yeah, just kind of mesmerized, and meanwhile, it, however, will not wait. It will just do the drill it's been doing, smash through a window, and try to snatch up a hound.
All right.
Does it take anything for it to break through the window?
We can do that as part of the attack, just because
Okay.
of the coolness factor.
It's
It's essentially doing the inverse Resident Evil thing.
Yeah, it really is. It's just going to immediately mash its face right through a pane of glass and try to bite one of the hounds.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah, that definitely smashed some glass. And then 9 points of damage in
And
total.
yeah,
Is
and
that-
it will bite, or sorry, grab on the bite, a 42 to grab.
Okay, so it doesn't do damage at all, thanks to the strange skin of the creature. But it hits, so I would say it can grapple. So it's grappling.
Okay.
So they're both grappling right now. Okay, that was it.
That's it.
Okay. The
Well, actually, it does. I'm sorry, it does. I forgot it. Yeah, it only moved 5 feet, so it should be able to make the tentacle mass attack as well, in case that does some actual damage. $33 to hit, 15 points of damage.
that does some damage.
Okay.
Very minor amount, but it does. Okay, the other hound's turn comes up, and first thing it does, yeah, it kind of hesitates for a brief moment, Emaṛel, as if it's like weighing something. It almost looks like it's calculating. Cocks its head a little bit as it stares at you, Emaṛel. I will need a will save from you.
That's a lot of will saves.
Who would have thought?
And he has not acted yet, so he can't. Yeah, no more immediate actions. Well,
12. Okay, so as I'm just gonna have to tell you this because otherwise I'll forget. What it did is it used its mythic power to alter the laws of probability surrounding you, Emaṛel. You're like a singularity within the realm of probability right now. And since you failed your save, you must roll twice for all ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws, or skill checks, and take the
And
worst
worse.
result.
Yikes.
For
And
how
that
long?
is for 1 round, just 1 round.
Okay.
But that was a swift action for it, so it's going to do more fun things. One of those fun things is it then, like after cocking its head, looking you up and down, it then stares at you with its ripping gaze.
Oof, again.
And oh yeah, another fortitude save.
I've already. What's included in the 12? I guess is a failure anyway.
That is a failure indeed. So you take Oh, only 16. Could have been worse. And that's its turn. Wait. Yeah, that is its turn. Okay. And then it's Geier.
Geier is going to try. They're not undead, are they?
Yeah, they are outsiders.
Still gonna try and rattle its spirit.
Okay, which one? Do you
The
s-
closest one.
Do you already see one?
Yeah,
You-
I can see this one here.
Okay, then-
That's the only one I can see.
Then you first need to roll a will save. Okay, you resolve holds, and then you cast Bone Shaker on it. So one living creature or undead creature with a skeleton. Bum bum bum. Where is it? Fortitude. Oh, the first one is the one that counts. 30, so it makes it safe, which means half damage, correct?
Yep, and it
And
doesn't
and no
move.
movement. Yeah.
So 3d6 plus 1d6 per 2 caster levels. What did we say it was? So it's 9. So it's 4d6. Yeah,
7 in total.
7d6. So
Hey.
13.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
halved.
Yep. 13 is still pretty good, given its damage reduction. It's definitely a good way to get past it. Okay, do you want to use your move action?
This is a good distance.
Okay. Emaṛel, your turn.
Okay. Emaṛel is going to spend one mythic power to gain an extra standard action for the round.
Mm-hmm.
So like expend that. The standard action, he's going to use it to make his weapon Outsider Bane.
Mm-hmm.
Take that off. And that leaves us with one round's worth of actions. He is going to Fleet Charge is a swift action. Okay. He's going to use Fleet Charge, which is also a... Is there a limit on how many mythic points you can spend in a round?
if you have the actions to do it, you can do
You
it.
can. Okay. Well, he's gonna do that. He's going to use Fleet Charge as a swift action, which allows him to move up to speed and then make a single melee attack. He's going to step here to the side, and it's not gonna provoke AOs because he has the other mythic thing that allows him to not provoke AOs from one creature.
Okay.
And at the end of that movement, he is going to stab the sea dog person thingy.
So you
Hound.
so you charge
It's a
backwards.
doggy.
See, bug, person, TV,
Doggy.
chair.
Yes, backwards charge is kinda right.
And as you do that, actually another thing goes backwards because just as you want to attack, the hound starts to manipulate the flow of time itself, and momentarily you're caught in a little loop where you go back to the last attack it made on you, and you suffer through that again as the flow of time is inverted briefly, and you basically relive that experience. Give me a will save.
Oh, there's a spell that does that.
Can
What
we
is
not do that? Like, you're not allowed to do that.
No.
Damn. Oh, you have to roll twice, but that doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah.
These things are like Emaírel's. They're
Okay.
giving him the business.
Yeah, those things are awesome. There's a little bit of annoying because I have to go back to the damage it did last time and use that again.
I think it
So
was
it's
16.
again 16 points.
Yeah.
It's like a spell.
Which leaves
spell
Emaírel
that
with
does that.
16 hit points. Exactly.
Yeah, and then you rush back, and then you rush back into the here and now again.
Okay, so he gets to make his.
And you get to make your attack, yeah.
Okay, let's do this. So that's one single attack, which I guess I roll twice and take worst, right?
Correct?
Let's hope don't roll too bad.
19 is not enough to pierce the creature's thick,
Well.
unnatural armor.
Okay, so that was the swift action.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Yeah. And now he gets to do his actual full attack.
That's unfair.
You shouldn't have given us Mythic.
Yeah, but you gotta roll twice on every one.
No, I mean
Yeah.
I'm looking at your hit points. I think this is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be annoying you with it much longer, is what you're trying to say.
Ooh.
Okay, so we still need to roll twice for everything.
I think. Okay, so let's
Just do the exact same thing again.
yeah.
23,
Pum
15.
pum 1 and 1. I have an extra attack at the bottom. You can disregard that. That was haste that I forgot to take off.
Okay, so but if
So first one is a 21 at best,
that's a miss,
and second one is a 16 at best. So that's a miss too.
that is a miss too.
Flurry of misses.
Flurry of misses. Okay, that was Emaírel. Arronax.
Well, at first I will put the baby in a bag, I guess.
Put the baby in the basket.
Let the baby.
Yeah.
All right, that's a move action.
Yes, and as my normal action, I will use my healing bomb on Emaírel because, well, we need to keep him alive now.
Please exclude me.
Okay. No promises. And I will use my third level, so cure serious wounds.
Okay. Yeah, probably a hit. And how much is healed? 17 points. Oh, where's the actual attack roll?
Well,
I thought 17 was the attack roll, but that's the healing.
17, I think it's.
This is the spell, not the bomb.
Yeah.
There we are. Yeah, that's a hit for 17 points of healing. Anything else this turn?
I think this will be it.
Okay. The hound that's being grappled by it is going to try and free itself. I'm doing just a CMB. If I can find that, gosh. I think I'm just going to use the hot thing. Probably easier. Yeah. 25.
Let me double check. I think that might get out, but I have to double check. All right. I hate to ask this one. Is that including anything from the fact that it's grappled or not?
Yes.
I'm still very confused
Yes, it
about
is.
this.
I have the condition on, so it applies whatever
Okay.
applies.
So that is an escape, yes.
Okay, so it is no longer grappled, and it still can do a swift action, which it will use to do the probability shift on it. So it will have to roll a will save.
Does it keep turning this buff on? It does not have this buff on. Will, okay. Yeah. Da, da, da. 16?
16 is not enough, so it is now affected by the probability shift and is at disadvantage for 1 round. Did I say that right? It's like the,
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's throwing in the 5e term.
but that is the exact thing, right? You roll
Yeah,
twice.
disadvantage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. And as a free action, he's going to take a step. As a move action, it doesn't really have anything to do, so it's just going to look curiously at it, like really inspecting it with great interest and curiosity.
Yeah.
Alhindri.
Alhindri is gonna use this opportunity to cast.
I'm sorry, did the thing step or move?
Step.
Step, okay.
Yeah, I was ready for it too. I was listening. He said step.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
I was like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
What are the odds of
Okay.
us walking out of this one alive?
I hope we're fine. Does Alhindri know just how like? I mean, she made that roll before. Does she know just how scary this is? Like, is this really bad situation or just a challenging one?
Well, let me check. So Hounds of Tindalos, regular Hounds of Tindalos, which would already be not, a challenge. But these things, with their mythic quality, are definitely shaking her to the core.
Okay, that's good to know. Bad to know. Good to know. Alhindri's gonna cast haste on everyone she can see, including, everyone
Oh,
except the
nice.
baby.
Baby's safe in the back. That's another one of those sentences you don't want to say. That is your turn? Oh, it. Right?
Yes, that's her turn. So everybody
Wait, I
is.
think isn't haste this weird thing where no two of which can be 30 feet apart?
That's a good point. Sorry, Geier, you're not getting hasted.
That's alright. Used to dragging my corpse all over the place. Should this be any different?
Yeah, so she will do that. It will get its haste buff going. Gonna need all those attacks now. It's no longer grappled, so I have to take that off. And it is going to do a bite, which it still has the reach for.
Mm-hmm.
Bite. I'll roll it twice. There's no way I can make this roll twice, is there? No, I'll just have to roll it twice. So it's a 24, or alternatively a natural 1. Okay.
We'll take the natural one, thank you.
All right, and then it'll do its second from the haste, second set of bites, 27 or a 16. All right, doing good. 2.
Yes.
And then
Thank
the
you.
tentacles. Tentacle 25 or a 19.
And a miss.
All right.
The laws of probability are definitely shifted.
Why? It's not still grappled, is it? It's still grappled for all that, and it doesn't have the haste. What the heck? I checked those boxes.
Okay, well then we just need to make sure that the 19 didn't actually get much higher than this. Where would the 19 be?
Let's see. It's a what is it? A -4 to Dex?
Can you just roll right now and we'll check the modifier on the tentacle mass now that you have the proper
Yeah.
buffs?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks
Look
for
at
the
that.
roll.
It's in
Huh?
the
It's the exact same mods.
Huh. That's weird. I guess it is still attacking off of strength, which isn't affected by grappled anyway, so. What is grappled effect?
But haste would give you a +1 to attack.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the boy. All right. Let me look at my bite, combat bite.
He's not. Is he hasted? I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
So 5. So it's a +12. 5. I think it might be a miss regardless. So.
Okay. All right, and then it is the Southern Hound's turn. He has 1 use left of his mythic power, and he's using it, for something incredibly strange. On the opposite corner of you, Emaírel, and the angle between the staircase and the wall, another hound appears. Or at least at first you think it is another hound, and as your eyes dart back and forth between the 2 hounds that are starting to flank you, you notice that the one here in the corner always acts like a few seconds after this one with the exact same movement. It's like its future self and its present self are present at the same time. Which is really awesome because that means it gets to act twice in a round.
Mhm.
So that was the mythic power. That is a... What kind of action? It's a no action. Yeah, it's a no action.
Is it dual initiative?
That essentially it works like dual initiative.
Okay, I think that's just a passive. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's an ability that functions like dual initiative
Ah.
because the mythic rules weren't complicated enough. So, it is going to cast haste on itself and its buddy.
Oh, you bastard.
Boom. Haste is active here and on its body too. That's its standard. Come on. That's its standard, and then it has a move action, but it doesn't really. It's just going to take a step over here to flank with its future self, which is going to act in a little while. I'm going to put that here, but I'm going to color it in because, as I said,
It's the same.
it's the same thing. Yeah. Where is it? There it is. There you go. Okay, Geier, your turn.
Oh yeah, Captain. How, it's not looking damaged at all, right? It's just looking like a otherworldly blob, right?
The one you can now you can see both.
I can sort of see a third thing here.
Yeah, you can see that. But yeah, no, it
Yeah, it
doesn't.
doesn't matter.
Doesn't seem like you're doing much damage here.
Looks like my thing froze. cannot open my there we go. Sorry about that. So in that case, just a little bit of measurement. Okay, no, that is a lot. Okay, I think black tentacles might be a bad idea. So I'm gonna cast Howling Agony on it. On the one I can see, like the one I attacked earlier.
Okay. Fortitude save.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the DC? It is not 14, as the macro says.
No.
I don't know if we want this thing howling.
But if it's howling, it's not acting.
Yeah, but howling is its own mythic ability, so
Where's
now
my
it's...
spell DC?
Hey.
Honestly, I have easier time navigating maps in Turkish than these character sheets. Sorry. I'll find it at some point. Where's my DC?
What sheet are you looking at?
The Foundry one.
It's not correctly set up on the Foundry sheet because it lists the DC as 14, but it certainly isn't 14.
Okay, I'll get the... Geier. Mythic Geier. So on the PDF, it's this. I don't know. I can't find it. This is the same thing.
Like on the section where you have the spell.
Yeah, I'm on my spells.
Well, it's usually, what, like 10 plus your caster level plus level of the spell, right?
I think it's spell level plus ability modifier.
Yeah, so...
But
I mean, the guy rolled a 20. It's not going to be higher than 20. We can, I think,
It is 19.
save ourselves. Yeah, I very much doubt it's going to be...
No, it is 19. I just looked it up.
Ah.
And it's on the sheet under spells and powers. There's a list of your prepared spells or your available spells, and the DC is noted. Okay, so it made it safe, which means it just negates the Howling Agony altogether. Emaṛel.
Emaṛel, first thing is let's not get flanked, which is not an easy thing to do. He's going to take a step, or maybe can he take the fleet charge? It doesn't say, so it probably provokes. But maybe it's worth it. We haven't seen them physically attack anything yet. So I think he is going to risk it. Yeah, he's going to risk it. He's going to again make use of fleet charge as a swift action.
Okay.
And he's gonna use it to move over here. And since he can only stop one creature from making AOs against him, he's going to take an AO from this guy. Or from either one of the two. It's going to be just one of them.
And it's gonna try to snap at you as you rush past.
That's a miss.
19 to hit. Misses.
And at the end of that movement, he is going to attack
And
this creature.
yeah. And that's 19 on roll of 2.
Correct.
Hmm?
Oh, wow. Okay, that is a hit. 25 points of damage. 15 of which come through.
But
And
does
so-
it negate Bane damage?
I think Bane is just like it counts like as weapon damage.
Yeah, it does.
So that was the swift action, and now he is going to do his full round action. Again, attacks against the same target.
Okay.
And you have a haste.
Oh right, I forgot it.
So nope, but I'm confused.
Okay.
Which attack do I need to consider here?
Well, all of them.
Okay, so the 30 is a hit for another 32. So that's 22 points of damage that come through. And then we have a 1 that misses, and then we have a 21 that misses as well.
I think that should be a 22,
Still
if
misses.
that changes things. Okay.
Okay, and it's the doctor's turn.
Oh, well. Well, I guess it's my turn now to make a full attack, and
Just a quick question: Did you apply the damage against the one up top or at the bottom?
At the bottom, was that wrong?
No, I think I have marked the one at. I don't know if you can see it. I have marked it.
Oh,
as
yeah, I just didn't notice that because I'm flipping between various
Ah.
pages.
because the one at the bottom is outside reach for the spear.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so I actually need to heal some damage here. 22. And 15. Yeah, right. Brings it just back up to full. And then minus 15 and minus 22. Okay, now we have it.
mhm.
And Arronax.
So yeah, I will just use the benefits of haste and target this guy with 3 bombs at least, and exclude Emaírel from the blast, and
Okay.
and Alhindri it as well, because I think all those will be explosive bombs, so this motherfucker can burn.
Okay.
Does it have like a 10-foot reach or something?
The explosive bombs have 10-foot reach, 10-foot splash damage. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I will have to exclude myself as well.
Does it work like reach for weapons, or is it
No.
like a radius?
It's radius. It's just splash damage.
Like
It's
I
not-
mean,
Yeah,
would it?
it's not gonna affect that
Oh,
guy.
okay.
No, it's only 15, unfortunately. But I don't think I will make a time paradox if I kill it right now, because I won't. Combat bombs, full attack. Ugh.
First bomb is a 13 for 17 points of damage.
Okay.
Boom. Then we have a second bomb, which is a miss.
Mm-hmm.
So roll a d8, please. One, which actually is not too bad because that means that all of the hounds are in the splash damage for this one. So they get to make reflex saves once, twice, times.
And they all made it. Oh, except that one.
The last one fails, which means they take, how much is the splash?
Well, the splash is minimum, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
11.
Yes.
11. Okay, so this one takes 11, and then this one takes 2 times 5.
10.
Okay. Is there
Is
another
there-
bomb?
Yes, there is one more.
Does their DR seem to apply to the fire damage as well?
No, DR doesn't apply to fire damage, and they don't seem to have fire resistance.
Okay.
Okay, another hit with the bomb for 26 points of damage. Okay. That's it?
Yes, I think this will be it.
Okay, and it is this town's turn. Who still has some mythic power left? Oh no, wait. First of all, it's the future hound that gets to act, and he will use his turn to stare at Emaṛel. So Emaṛel, give me another fortitude save.
It's rude to stare at people.
Yeah, but they don't seem to care. So you take, wait a second. Oh, it's actually negated. You take no damage.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Lucky you. And, okay, and then it just disappears in the spot where the past self was, and then only one is left, which is the one that used to be the future one, and
Oh.
it's all very complicated to explain. Okay, and then this other hound comes up, and he still has some mythic power left. He's going to make a copy of himself appear in the corner next to Emaṛel. As a free action, essentially. And then as a swift action, he's going to cause a probability shift on Emaṛel again. So I will need a will save.
No.
Yeah, you are at a disadvantage. Then as another free action takes, he basically jumps up on the bed, and then he does a full attack against Emaṛel. Which means he tries to bite first
That
for
hits.
11 points, and then he uses his claws twice.
Ooh. Those all hit.
Okay, and just starts tearing away your flesh with glee.
And Emaṛel falls to the ground.
Emaṛel goes down. Alhindri.
Okay. All right. I've got a question for you here. I don't know how much Alhindri knows about this. I don't understand it fully, so this ability that she's seeing, these copies, does she like comprehend what's going on, that it's some sort of future version of the thing? Or like you said that they're perfectly mirroring movements and stuff, so
Yeah, not exactly mirroring, but they're doing what the other copy does just a little bit later. I think it's obvious to someone who has a flexible mind, and I think Alhindri has a flexible mind.
Okay. Well, speaking of flexible minds, she's trying to figure out if the spell Dimensional Anchor would have any impact on this ability. It blocks things like astral projection, blink, dimension door, ethereal jaunt, etherealness, gate, maze, plane shift, shadow walk, teleport, and similar spell-like abilities. Prevents
Man,
the
if
use
it
of gated
doesn't-
teleportation circles. And yeah, I mean, it says
It sounds like it's made for that.
it completely blocks extra dimensional travel. I don't know if projecting yourself into the future is considered extra dimensional travel or not.
Yeah.
That sounds like a proper nerd debate.
Yeah, that sounds
Well,
like
there-
my.
there's
Like
special
we're gonna need
Adjust
charts
glasses.
and a whiteboard.
And I think there's
And a lot of yarn.
I think there is a plane of time, so technically traveling through time also means planar travel. Yeah. Of course, they don't catch that in the description of the ability. But
Right, because their focus is mostly on movement, physical movement, as opposed to temporal movement.
Yeah, but they're calling it translocating a copy of itself a few seconds into the future. And it also calls out the rules for its angled entry ability that it needs to follow, it needs to have the same properties that makes it legal to do an angled entry. And that is that is definitely a teleport effect. So I would say yeah, you think that this is some sort of travel through the fabric of reality, call it dimension, call it time, call it whatever you want. But
Okay.
yeah, maybe it works.
Now the real question is, do I target the past one or the future one?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping if I target the past one, the future one might just go away, and then I don't know what'll happen when it has to jump to the spot where the future one was.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say that you're a little worried that you might create a paradox if you do that.
It's worth it. It's just gonna dimensional anchor, attempt to dimensional anchor the past one, unless you're telling me I need to target the future one.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Which
Yeah.
means
Okay.
that they get
that
a nope, no save.
That's a natural 20 to hit. It's a ranged
Wow.
attack roll.
I see, and that is a hit, of course. So, the past one you hit. Okay, so you're hitting you're stopping the past hound from projecting itself into the future, even though its future self is
It's
already
already
here.
there.
Which means you are creating a little bit of a paradox. As the future self disappears, a wave of paradox is unleashed in a 30-foot radius.
This is an actual thing in the rules.
That is a thing.
awesome.
Well, if it actually calls out that if the past self dies before it becomes the future self, but this is similar. So yeah, there's a 30-foot radius paradox blast, and I will need will saves from everyone essentially
no.
within 30 feet. So
What about Emaṛel?
Emaṛel won't need to do that because the effect doesn't affect him.
Okay.
Okay, but Geier, Doctor, and it
Being
and Alhindri, everyone.
Notice to self. Yeah. Being unconscious protects you from time paradoxes. Okay. I am very likely going to want to spend a surge on this.
Yep, so do
Just
I.
reveal, please reveal results, and then I will say, oh, a 22.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're not.
Oh no.
And I'm
Oh
not,
no.
I'm not sure it will actually help me to spend my mythic power,
Yeah, I don't know. Oh no! What are you guys doing?
but I think I will
This is
anyway.
a time paradox. You don't want to mess with this. I mean, Alhindri did, but you guys don't want to. What about the other hound? Is it potentially affected
No,
by the paradox?
they're immune against this kind of stuff.
Okay. And
yes,
it also needs to.
So I guess
Come on. Oh no.
Okay. So, let's see. Let's start with the doctor. One round.
Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. 1 second.
Doctor, you're 1 round dazed. Geier is 2 rounds dazed, and it is 3 rounds dazed.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
and
And yeah,
dazed-
it is dazed.
yeah, dazed basically means we can't do anything, right?
I believe you can. You just look it up. I think you can still defend yourself or something. Okay,
Dazed.
so
No penalty
the
to it.
hound comes up, has used all of its mythic power, so all that's left is its pure feral rage and brutality. It's gonna take a step forward.
Well, Alhindri probably wants to, I don't know, move
Oh,
after
okay.
she casts her spell.
Right, yeah.
But she's gonna quickly look around and realize that like everyone else is stunned. Okay. Abilities. Oh God, is this awful of me if I get out of here?
Yes,
Uh,
but it's
actually,
not like...
can dazed creatures be coup de grace?
No, they have no penalty to AC. They just can take no actions.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not the worst thing in the world. But I guess I'm thinking of like stunned.
Yeah.
She's gonna get torn apart if one of these things gets to her. She still has negative con features. Is this a? Come on.
Fly, you
Oh wait, no,
fool.
I'm looking at the dancing partner. I'm not looking at Alhindri. I've done it again. Oh, come on. Can use Maker's Call. Okay, Maker's Call. Standard action. Shit. All right. Well, that's not going to get me out, but I think maybe... Oh,
Can't you
I don't even
use
have that
mythic...
spell. Haste. Yeah, no, I don't even have the spell I thought I had, so I can't. I'm just gonna move.
Okay.
Does it look like the one that I just messed with is leaving Emaírel alone now? It doesn't look like it's gonna like murder him on the spot if I leave, or can I tell
Yeah,
that?
no, you're happy to see that you drew its attention.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm gonna run. 15, 20, 25.
So this hound,
And you're hasted as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's not going to completely abandon everyone. She's just getting to the back of the pack.
and then this hound moves forward, and with one brutal, with one vicious-looking bite,
Swallow
Of course they have Vital Strike. Are you kidding me?
it attacks the doctor. Bonus damage is 2d6 in this case. 19 to
Ha.
attack.
And at long last they actually missed. Because even without all kinds of mutagens, my armor class right now is 23.
Nice.
Thanks to the ring.
You luck out. Geier, are you back, Alejandro? He's dazed anyway. Emaṛel is bleeding out. But I think you're automatically stable when you're
Yeah.
mythic, right? Okay, yeah, so you're stable. Doctor,
Well, I'm
you are
dazed.
dazed. And this hound is going to go here and attack the doctor. Once again, using the Vital Strike.
That's like
Yes.
okay.
Alhindri laughs in the back. Alhindri, your turn.
Oh God, I'm sorry, everyone. I did it now. Okay. The question is, do I dimensionally anchor the other one so there's no more of this duplicating nonsense happening?
Well, I mean, I don't know how much of a off-topic spoiler it would be, but I mean, these things can actually, I think, teleport away when they're in low hit points.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something else that's been on my mind.
Yeah.
So Alhindri would move over here. Oh God, that's my movement. That's it. Just getting a clean shot. Well, technically, I could see them. I could see them from here. Simon, would I be able to take a shot on the one on the right from all the way back here? Or do
Yep.
I have to?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Of course, you have plenty of soft cover because it's a ranged touch, and it follows the rules of ranged attacking.
Okay.
Right now, it has +8 from Geier and Doctor.
Has +8. Okay, fine. Fine. Make me step out of the way. Fine. If I move here, is it a clean shot?
Yeah, good enough. It's not.
Okay.
It's not really in melee because the Doctor is dazed.
It's a 13 against touch AC.
That's a miss.
Against their touch.
And the dazed Turk takes down, and then the hound's turn comes up, and he's gonna do a hasted full attack, using a bite first.
Oof.
36 for 15,
Well,
Doctor.
that hits.
Then 33 for 8.
Сколько? What?
Claw, 33 for 8. And then a 22 for...
Alright, that hits. 33 hits and 22 doesn't.
Okay, and then he uses his hasted attack for another bite. 10 points.
So,
Geier is last round of dazed. Emaṛel is stable. Doctor,
wait,
you're back.
yeah, wait, let me apply all the damage first. This is 1. This is 2. This doesn't. And this. Okay. So, as a reaction, first I heal 5 hit points for my spontaneous healing. 38. Then, well, shit. I mean, this is like very not good. I guess I will have to use my... Well, it won't really help against like 33, but I will use my assured drinking ability, Mythic, to drink my mutagen and become somewhat tougher and more constitutional. I will use my constitution mutagen.
Okay. Does that provoke?
No, assured drinking does not provoke anything. I believe
Okay.
so. Let me check, of course.
Was that your turn?
No, that was just See, it says that no one can stop you from imbibing even in combat.
No one can stop me from drinking.
Yes,
No one.
All right, so take your turn.
yes, that would be one. Then I will take a 5-foot step, I suppose backwards, because I kind of don't want to be close to them. And I
Why
will
not?
take another full attack on these creatures. I suppose I will take this one, it seems to be more injured.
Mm-hmm.
Are they different levels of injury? Because the color of the
Yeah,
text
the
seems
colors.
different, but I don't know if that's
Yeah,
if
no,
part of it.
that's correct. The one that's a
Ah,
little more to the red is actually a little more injured.
Yeah,
that's cool.
by the way, which one of them is on fire? So that it is on fire probably now.
Okay, well, first of all, this one takes 25 points of damage, and the one next to it is going to do a reflex save.
Well, it saves.
Made it, so it's only, what was it, 5?
Yeah.
5 points of damage. The second bomb misses, so I'm gonna need a d8.
Uh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it basically hits the wall in front of it. So you, Alhindri, and the 2 hounds are all caught in the flash damage. So everyone needs to roll a reflex save.
ay, gosh.
Oh, come on.
So this time it failed and it dies.
Yay.
And the other one takes only half damage.
And I have still one hasted attack.
And Alhindri takes 11, Doctor takes 5. And the final bomb.
Hey.
That's not a critical hit, but definitely a hit. 25 points of damage. And it catches on fire.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Alhindri, your turn.
I have my turn. And I am going to see. I don't want to leave this too much to chance. The Eidolon is out of combat still, so she's going to cast a spell on the doctor. It lasts for 1 minute per. Okay, so we might get some use out of this beyond this fight, maybe. Doctor, she reaches out and touches your back, and you suddenly feel, well, you don't feel anything, but if you look down at yourself, your form is going blurry and indistinct as she casts blur on you. 20% mischance. And she's going to move back some more out of the range of your errant bombs. And that's her turn.
Okay. Dum 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 dum. I believe it has one more round to be dazed. The hound is on fire, first of all. And it's just gonna ignore the fire, so it'll take the damage you rolled earlier. Where is it? 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't bother it that much, and then it takes a step forward and does another full attack, a hasted full attack. So it's a 14 points of damage with the bite.
Don't forget your miss chance.
Oh. Okay. So that's what is it? 20%?
Yeah.
Okay. So high is good for me. Made it.
Ah.
But it still has plenty of attacks to go, so we'll see. Full attack with the claws. So there's 2 more potential hits. First one fails. Second one is a hit for 11. And then it does another bite attack.
Bastard!
Which may be... No, you crit with... yes, you can. It fails!
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, it's the mischance, so it critically hits the blurred image, but fails to actually hit where it hurts. God damn it.
Yes.
And Geier snaps out of his dazedness. I don't know if he's back, Alejandro. Okay, in that case, we're supposed to
Yeah.
go default to Bone Shaker.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so I'm gonna take a 5-foot step back, and then I'm gonna
When in doubt, shake it out.
yeah, and gonna roll a what is it? 42, right? So that's a success, but Bone Shaker still does damage. I believe it was 76. So it takes 13 points of damage, which
Bring it down.
is not quite enough to kill it, but it's clearly in very bad shape. If yeah, Emaírel is still on the ground. Doctor.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to try to reply in turn and try to maul it myself, but I think we are past joking right here, so let's just continue applying fireworks and explosives, because yeah, that thing also has damage reduction, so I actually can't hurt her with my bare hands. I'm spontaneously healing another 5 hit points. Actually, no, I think I will use another my mythic power to activate my fast healing.
Okay.
I keep missing it. This is one, and I will just start using bombs one at a time, I guess. I think. Point blank, excluding myself from the blast. Unless it's actually something that I can do.
So what? You're attacking from the adjacent square? That would provoke, right?
Okay, then I won't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, how about that?
That's a touch, so it's confirmed.
Yes.
Which means, in a blast of fire, the extraplanar mythic Hound of Tyndalos gets incinerated, blown to bits, and you manage to remain victorious in another mythic trial.
Yeah, and after that, I think I will run to Emaírel and start to.
Of course.
Sorry about that. What happened?
Oh,
What
You
happened?
made it.
we died.
You made it. Nope, you made it.
I'm not trusting you.
You made it. So this counts as a mythic trial, which
Yeah.
means that Alhindri is going to get another tier.
Awesome.
And the others are going to be halfway on their way to tier 3.